Just before Thanksgiving last year, I was standing in Target holding this plaid pillow that has a little fringe on it. And I was trying to decide whether it belongs in my house or not. And it was warm and classic. It was the kind of pillow that looks like it belongs in a room where someone reads actual hardcover books and might own like a globe. And I liked it. And then I thought about the room that I wanted to put this pillow in. Everything in that room was just really calm and minimal at the time, like a lot of neutrals. And so I hesitated with this plaid pillow in my hands and I started thinking, if I bring this pillow home, what kind of style exactly am I building? Now that sounds dramatic for a pillow, but I know I'm not the only one who's had that moment. Somewhere along the way, decorating stopped being about what we like and started feeling like we need to declare a category, declare a style before we're allowed to choose something. Oh, we're minimalists. My living room is coastal. Our home is modern organic or Scandinavian or farmhouse. And the latest one is called Grandpa Chic, by the way. So if you've ever stood in a store wondering whether you're allowed to like plaid and clean surfaces at the same time, this episode is for you because today I want to show you a simpler way to think about decorating. It's how I remove the pressure to pick a style and instead choose my pieces more confidently. This is episode 98, and we're talking about how to keep your home feeling current while still feeling like you. Okay, let me just remind you that I am not an interior designer. Decorating my own home has never come naturally to me. I've second guessed almost every home purchase I've ever made. Ask my husband. I've brought things home and then I wonder, oh, do they go together? And then I take it back to the store. I've tried to follow trends and then stood in my living room thinking, this doesn't feel right. Well, that confusion is not something that I hide. I mean, it's exactly why I needed a better way to think about decorating because I don't think I need better taste. I need clarity about how to decorate. I think decorating paralysis is almost never about your style or a lack of style, right? I think it's about having too many decisions that you think you have to make all tangled together. So, to make this easier for all of us non designer people, I'm going to break decorating decisions into three parts, okay? This is how my brain works to simplify the stuff that can make me feel overwhelmed. Okay, so part one of how to make decorating decisions simpler is to separate the label from the features. Design style names are bundles, a bunch of features grouped together. Let me give you some examples. The latest style trend that you're probably seeing all over right now on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, it's called Grandpa Chic. And it usually includes traditional silhouettes, warm wood tones like darker wood, classic patterns like plaid or tweed, a lot of layered lighting, and a sense that someone in that house probably annotates their books and keeps them stacked on their desk. Scholarly, right? And it feels collected and worn in like a comfortable broken in leather chair. Well, minimalist style, on the other hand, often includes clean lines, fewer objects, really neutral palettes, and plenty of clear, empty, visible space. Coastal style has a lot of natural textures and lighter tones and airiness and breeziness. Modern organic blends structure with warmth. You get the idea, right? Each one of these is a collection of features packaged together. But when we treat a style as if these features, this bundle, is a contract that we're stuck to, well, then the pressure's on. That's when we start to think things like, if I like plaid, does that mean I need dark wood in my room? If I like clean lines, does that mean I can't have my great Aunt Zelda's oak tea cart in here? That's when decorating becomes overwhelming. But I've realized that I can make it simpler for myself. And I guess I always knew this, but I was afraid to do it for a really long time. you can pull the bundle apart. So instead of asking, what style is this? You ask, what feature of this thing do I really like? Is it the warmth of the wood? Is it the pattern of the pillow or the colors? Do I like the breathing room in a room that's more minimalist or the symmetry of that particular room? Well, when I was holding that plaid pillow, I eventually realized that what I was drawn to was the warmth of the colors and the pattern. So I didn't need to redecorate my whole room to look like a retired literature professor's study. I just wanted to add that one feature. I had to stop overthinking it. And once I saw it that way, the decision got smaller. And of course, small decisions are easier decisions, right? Part two of making decorating decisions simpler is to choose a direction, not a category or a style. So once you separate features from these style labels, you need a direction, like a direction you want your room to take. So instead of asking, what's my style? Ask, what do I want more of in this room? Do I want more calm? Does it feel too hodgepodge right now? Do I want more warmth? Because maybe I went too light and neutrally and it feels cold. Do I need more texture or more simplicity? Because the thing is, you can want visual space and warmth and antiques at the same time, right? But if you look at a style label, you might start to think, well, that's not allowed. If I want antiques, then I can't have a minimalist style anymore. We've got to stop thinking that way so much, I think. I mean, it just confuses the heck out of me. Why can't I have that really modern vase in my country kitchen? Well, you can, and it can still look good. For me, the direction I seem to consistently prefer right now is a neutral base, but warm materials, a moderate amount of breathing room of emptiness and clear space in the rooms, and plenty of texture. That's not a style, right? That's more of a direction. And once I was able to articulate that, decorating became a lot less scary. I realize it's easy to say this, but when you're standing in the aisle holding that plaid pillow, how do you know that you'll like it in your room? And I know a pillow is pretty inconsequential. I mean, you could just return it if you hate it in the room, right? But what about bigger purchases or something a little more permanent, like a wallpaper or something? Well, here's what you can do to figure out what your preferred direction is. Go to Pinterest or House or Architectural Digest or anywhere you like to look at home decorating. Find 10 rooms that appeal to you and save them, okay? Now, choose spaces that feel attainable, though, right? You might love a wall of glass, but if your house doesn't have that right now, you're not going to have the natural light of that inspiration room, right? Okay, now ignore the captions or the style y descriptions of those 10 rooms. Instead, look for the patterns across them. Are they mostly light or dark? Are they layered or really restrained and minimal? Are they warm or cool? Where does your eye go to first? Those patterns are the things that reveal your direction. So write those things down, the patterns that you're seeing, right? And then part three of making decorating decisions simpler is to use basic design fundamentals to make it work. Because once you know the features you like and the direction you prefer, design fundamentals are what's going to make your room look good. Now, you don't need to know design theory. I certainly don't, but you do need a few anchors. And I have 6 of these that I'll go over. The first is proportion and scale. Furniture that's too big is going to overwhelm your space. Artwork that's too small is going to feel disconnected, like lonely on a wall. It looks like a tiny island up behind your couch. Rugs that are too tiny make your rooms feel like they're wearing pants that are too short. So if something feels wrong, check the size first before you question your taste, okay? Number 2 is repetition and cohesion. When you repeat colors, wood tones, materials like metal tones in your room, like in 3 spots, then your room is going to feel more designed. If your plaid pillow introduces blue, Then let that tone of blue, appear in two more places in the same room. It could be a blue vase on a table or some of that blue in a painting on the wall or in your rug. Cohesion is what makes mixing colors, materials, and styles feel safe. It makes it work. It's why you can have an antique piece in a very modern room. Okay. Number three is contrast. Rooms need contrast. So light and dark, smooth and textured, straight lines and curves. Think about it. If everything is the same tone and texture in your child's bedroom, the room feels flat. Like if you went to IKEA and bought an entire bedroom set, the bed, the dresser, the nightstand, a bookshelf, all from the same line of furniture, the same color, it's going to look kind of blah. Contrast is what allows minimalist and grandpa chic elements to live together. White walls next to dark wood can feel warm, but still calm and minimal. A smooth lamp next to a woven basket is interesting, right? Contrast creates enough visual interest without cluttering up your space with more stuff. Number four is focal point. Every room benefits from something that anchors it. If you look at pictures of living rooms, a lot of the time it's a feature like a fireplace. But what if you don't have a fireplace? Well, then it could be a large piece of art or a patterned rug or a bold chair. When there's no focal point, everything is just competing for your attention. And so your eye never stops on anything specific. And it all starts to feel blah. So decide what your room revolves around and use that choice, that focal point, to simplify your decisions about everything else. Number five is lighting. A lot of rooms rely on one overhead light. But let me tell you, layered lighting changes everything. You can keep the overhead light, but add a floor lamp or a table lamp and a wall sconce, maybe, or a small accent light somewhere, and put a dimmer switch on that overhead light. I think warm lighting makes a room feel inviting immediately. So if your space feels cold, uninviting, like you don't really want to spend much time in there, lighting might be the issue, not your style. So be sure to check that. And number six is breathing room. Even cozy rooms need a little bit of clear space. Surfaces that are too full will just make your whole room feel cluttered. If something feels off, like the stuff on your shelf doesn't feel like it looks right, try removing one object before adding another one. Okay, so sometimes what we call style confusion is actually visual clutter. If every surface is full, adding one more patterned pillow will just feel overwhelming. If your palette already includes six competing colors, introducing a seventh one is probably not going to make it better. So before you question your taste, simplify the environment, clear one shelf, edit one surface, remove one color. I think this is really where organizing and decorating meet, right? If your room feels off, try simplifying one thing first before adding another element. Put something in order first, or create some blank space somewhere by maybe taking out a piece of furniture or a painting or a stack of books from a bookshelf. Then step back and take another look at your room before you decide that you need to add something else or to swap something out. So the next time you're hesitating over a purchase or trying to figure out, like, should I buy this painting for this wall? Well, think about what feature does this thing bring to my room? Is it a color, a texture, or a shape maybe that I'm drawn to? And does that feature support the direction that I want for the room? Does it respect scale? Like, is it the right size for the room? Does the room have enough breathing room to handle adding this? If the answer is yes, then you can trust yourself and you don't have to stress about having this item match a particular style name to justify your choice. Okay. So let's recap what we've done here to make decorating your home less scary. We broke down the decorating process into three parts. The first part is to separate the style label from the features. Second is to choose a direction, not a category or style. And third, use basic design fundamentals to make it work. And I gave you 6 to think about. That's the simpler way that I found to style my home after years of overthinking decorating decisions. I'm not telling you this as someone who mastered design school, not at all. Like I said, I second guess practically every decorating decision I've ever made, but I'm guiding you as someone who needed clarity more than aesthetic perfection in my own house. Because clarity means that I don't have to stress out about these little decisions anymore when I have these 3 parts to turn to. And then I can actually enjoy the decorating process and it can be really fun. So if you're in a bit of a decorating mood this week, or maybe you found a grandpa chic, full on plaid flannel looking chair that you'd love to add to your home office, which right now, though, is all breezy and light and white and neutral, well, identify the features of that chair that you want more of. Then adjust 1 or 2 elements to support that direction. Maybe it's that color, or adding a plaid pillow to your desk chair. Maybe it's removing something pastel instead of adding this particular chair. Ultimately, maybe you decide that you do just want that plaid chair. Well, go for it. You never have to say that your home office is minimalist or neutral. And if that chair is the right scale and you've repeated the color somewhere, well, chances are it's all good. I mean, apparently, we may or may not be decorating like retired literature professors this year. You can borrow the plaid if you love it. You can keep your white walls if they calm you, though. You don't have to label your home. You simply want to make thoughtful choices that bring you closer to beautiful living. Confidence in all of this decorating stuff builds through making intentional decisions, right? Okay, well, if this episode helped you feel a little bit steadier about decorating, please follow the podcast so we can keep organizing your home and your routines together. Have a beautifully organized week, and I'll see you on the next episode.